So this piece I think is really important. So this is the table. Brianna showed this at the last presentation as well. So the beauty of this, and I don't want to give you a big head or anything, but it's a very impressive way of just being real clear about what integration means. Because lots of people struggle with that. Like, what do you mean by integration? Well, this shows how these things link together. The learning area was about policy implementation, and there's a number of those going down. The description of the learning area, just a sentence description. The kinds of activities that Brianna in particular was involved in that related to policy implementation are just listed there. The courses that it linked to are listed there, right?
And theories.
And theories.
Yeah.
And then the specialized social work skill or value that was expanded as a result of that activity is listed there. Like it's very straightforward, very explicit. How can any instructor say you haven't shown integration or something like this? Especially in a real vague term like integration.
How much work was it? Like, did the table come up? Did you have to create this table, or like, how did you do this?
I just made it up. I don't know. So I did this when my practicum was finished. Like, I built it throughout my practicum experience. The learning areas I came up with before I left. They said to me, "What do you want to do in your practicum?" So I came up with 9 learning areas. Specific things.
From the learning contract, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Then, as I went along in my practicum, I filled these things up. These categories, I just thought, how am I going to link everything together? And then it was completed, the day I presented, essentially. The values and the skills, I had to really sit back almost for a day or so and think, what did I do? How did I grow? How do I label these as social work skills? So
well, those came out of our course, right? Yeah. From our seminar course.
Yeah.
And the categories along the top evolved over a period of time through conversations and discussions.
Absolutely.
Did you make this
in Word
file or Word?
Microsoft Word.
It's a table.
It's a table.
Borders on shading.
Yeah.
So
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when you presented in 15 minutes, so maybe you highlighted in this one?
I should have.
You need about 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this is where I landed. This is where I ended. I took some time, though, to start by explaining my theme and the website on the whole, perhaps too much time, which is why in hindsight I'm saying to you, start with this.
Overview.
So you got 15 minutes.
You don't have a lot of time.
5 minutes kind of introduction, orientation, background.
Yeah.
5 minutes on the heading called Demonstration of Integration. 5 minutes on the heading called The Approach to Social Work Practice.
Okay, so it's the middle one.
Yeah, so Brianna would not have had time, even if she had thought it through, to go from top to bottom.
I think I just picked one example and said, this was my process in project management.
Oh my God.
Right? And then referred. I printed out a copy of this for every one of my panel members and said, refer to this when you're making your final grading decisions. Right? So I did have some props and some prompts for myself, and also just said refer back to the website if you need, but I had a hard copy for everyone because this was the penultimate assignment, right? This
So
chart.
you don't have a hard copy of the whole thing, though.
No, just this one. Just this one document as it was the focus. Yeah.
Did you have some artifacts that were too big, or you didn't want to scan them to take a picture of it?
Yeah.
Like,
I had a table full of things.
Okay.
And in hindsight, I didn't really need to bring all of it just because I didn't have time to necessarily go through all of it. But I did have like some things I brought back from South Africa as props, as visuals. It adds to the experience for your panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So it could be any binder or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I had a wig. Not everyone will have a wig. So yeah, depends how you want to present it. Okay, any more questions?